Hi, this is Christina from Hoopla.
Hey, I'm Megan from Southern Branding.
And today, Megan has been preparing, I think, for weeks for a client showcase she does every year for the holidays. And she'll be giving us a tour of that next week. But she's pulled a handful of items that she wants to share that she's going to be giving away to her clients when they do the open house next week.
Yeah. We're doing this holiday showcase event and we've done it for about the past 7 years and always had a lot of fun doing it. Like to do kind of a little giveaway to send off with our clients and thank them for coming in. And what we're doing this year is the whole theme was just, it's basically been a shit show of a year.
Yeah.
2022, like 2020 and 2021 they've just all bled
Almost two
together.
years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's been the longest year ever. So, we just wanted to do some sort of like cozy feel good theme and have a little bit of a fun with it. So what we're sending with people is actually I didn't grab the lunchbox, but we're doing this fun little lunchbox that has just a really, really subtle imprint. So it's something lovely black that you could even just keep on a shelf, display things in, whatever that would still look nice in your home, versus it being like cartoonish that you think of with a lunchbox kind of thing.
Yeah.
But one of the things that we're putting inside, we're doing this awesome custom wood ornament.
Oh, yeah. I love this. Make sure we can zoom in on that.
Yeah.
There we go.
So it's basically just saying that 2020 and 2021 has been dumpster fire of a year. And who knows what 2022 will bring.
Yeah.
So here's hoping. So just a little bit of humor with it. And then eco sustainability is such a great talking point and selling point. That's just really become even larger and bigger this year. So we wanted to do something relating with that. So we've done this great wheat straw mug. I love that it's gray. It's also insulated still with stainless. And then we got kind of fun with the messaging on it versus just our logo. We did day drinker, and then has just a subtle little icon inside the example of the coffee mug. So we're pairing that with ooh, nice hot chocolate bomb. But the fun thing with a hot chocolate bomb is there are colors that you can drizzle with. So we drizzled ours in red since that is it's our brand color is red. And then on the outside of the packaging, we have our logo on it. So it's still on brand. And then we did this little mini popcorn popper. So this little guy is so much fun. You just put a little bit of popcorn in here. We're giving you the popcorn too. And now you've got everything that you need for a nice little cozy night on the couch. You've got your hot chocolate, you've got your popcorn. You just need to throw a blanket around you and watch a movie and you're set.
So I want to say a couple things about what Megan just showed you. And I want to, commend her because she not only was telling a story with all the items, she was sending that message to her clients to relax. Now's the time to kind of get cozy and stay in.
Yep.
All of those items she showed you come in great price points, but there's a cohesive branding that you see throughout all of the items with the red drizzle on the chocolate bomb, the colors that she showed, a little bit of humor. So it just shows that you can tell a story and really reflect your brand with how you decorate things. It doesn't always have to be just Southern Branding logo or Hoopla logo. Right. You can put a messaging on there so that you're having a moment, a memory with your client. But one question I want to ask Megan is, take us through the process, because obviously you're an expert and I also do this every day. So it's easier for us to kind of come up with ththese kind of ideas and themes. But like as a client, if they're like, I want to do something like Southern Branding just showed, how do you start with that? What are the steps that you would take to kind of begin creating kind of more of that story versus a one item, just slap your logo on type of holiday gift?
Well, I think the starting point is you have to figure out what the message is. And, for me, what I ask then is, okay, how do you want the recipient to feel? So what is the feeling that we're trying to evoke? You know, for me, I wanted something that was just kind of, it was cozy, feel good, warm, cuddly. You know, that's what we were kind of going for with it. And there's so much more that we could have even done with it, you know, with packaging and all kinds of different things.
Yeah.
But you know, Google is also your friend. So, you know, if you're not necessarily that creative, you know, thinking about fun, you know, messaging or something different, you know, first of all, that's why you're working with people like us, so we can help you with that. But then also, you know, I Google things all of the time. And what is the saying about imitation is the best form of flattery?
Flattery.
You know, yeah, to see what's out there, see, you know, the cute little sayings that are on t-shirts or tea towels or on retail drinkware, or, you know, whatever it may be, to help come up with different ideas. And then we can get creative with the art part on it and how to incorporate your logo or icon, or just brand colors, you know, so that it tells your story.
So what I would say, speak to what Megan's talking about, because Megan is an industry vet. You know, she has over a decade under her belt in the industry. So she really knows how to make it look great and really knows how to kind of streamline that process. And so me being in the industry for just 2 years, I still have that lens as someone that was kind of a buyer. And so I think what I would tell my clients is, number one, start on holidays right this minute, start making your naughty and nice list, start gathering all the information. So the second part that I would tell my clients is, send me an email or call me or text me and say, let's set up a meeting. So set up a brainstorming meeting, bring to that meeting the quantity. So how many people are you giving gifts to? The budget, the inspiration that Megan had mentioned. I have some clients that even do shared Pinterest boards with me. Yep. So the inspiration.
Absolutely.
Yep. If there's some kind of messaging, and this doesn't have to be fine-tuned. Don't be overwhelmed by these tasks. It's just your homework so that we can hit the ground running. And then Megan and I can do what we do best, which is curating what's going to fit what you're envisioning and fit your budget and your quantity, and make sure that there's stock, as we always say. And then once we kind of narrow down the items like Megan had showed, if we come up with a collection of items, that's when we can get really creative and we can start working on that artwork and that messaging for you. But now is the time. You should be scheduling a creative meeting for the holidays if you want to be able to offer something that Megan just showed.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I feel we talk about this on every single one. But the state of the industry, and not just the industry, the state of the overall supply chain with all industries, especially is how it's pertaining to retail, is just getting worse.
Yeah.
You know, we got an email today from one of the largest suppliers within our industry, saying that their suppliers are really saying there's no relief in sight until hopefully mid 2022. So this isn't going away, and it's just something that we all need to be thinking about. So where we're moving everything up, you know, a couple of months, we're talking about holiday. We've been talking about holiday. We talked about holiday last month. We're talking about holiday this month. So hopefully we're driving that home, and you're going to be doing holiday orders now. So then fourth quarter, really what we're talking about is the events that you have coming up in first and second quarter, because the inventory supply chain is not going to be getting better with that.
One thing I also will mention is many items do come from overseas. I know a lot of people like American made, and I absolutely 100% support that. There is a price difference. And once people see that price difference, they're not always keen to sticking with American made. And American made is also I buy a lot of American made items from suppliers, and they are also having challenges with producing it in enough time, even if they produce them in-house because of lack of workforce. So, but point being, Chinese New Year's, all the factories overseas shut down for about 6 weeks. I would say even close to 2 months. It really affects us for quite some time. So if you have any events in Q1 or early Q2, you should be working on that like very soon. Because those are closing down. Another thing that Megan was talking about, the inventory, is if you wait too long to place your orders, you're going to be stuck with either really expensive options or no options, or things you don't really feel proud to give out. So that's really important. There are a handful of suppliers that Megan and I work with that make things custom ordered, which is nice because we're not dealing with an inventory issue, but we still are dealing with a timeline issue. If everyone's like, well, I'm going to use this supplier because there's no inventory issue, that's going to prolong their production time. I was talking to Megan before this call. I work with factories directly overseas. So it's great because I can get things custom made in large quantities for my clients. I'm working on a really large project right now for a client. But they are also the suppliers for our suppliers here. And so their production times, even starting now, are 60 days plus transit. And transit, there's a couple ways to look at it when you're going from China. There's air and there's sea. Sea is really much cheaper, but it is going to take much longer. You're going to want to allow a minimum of 30 days for it to come by sea, but you're going to save a lot of money. Air,
and that's in normal pre-COVID times.
Correct. So you want to give a buffer. So I would even say at this point, if you want something custom from overseas and you want to use sea as your freight option to save money, we need to order that this week. Not to put the pressure on, but when you switch to air, as Megan and I did a show about a couple months ago, those prices are through the roof. So your freight might end up costing you sometimes just as much as your actual. Exactly. And that can all be avoided if you work on things in a timely manner. And I know we sound like a broken record, but we want to save you money. We don't want you to pay $1,000 in freight, that is not, but we also need to deliver things for you.
Yeah. I shared this on my LinkedIn the other day, but there was an article that came out and it was really more talking about retail. But the point of it was, this is why we're talking about this, and it was basically talking about how the overall cost of containers, the overall cost of shipping. And it was really, talking about with retail stores, how expect to see empty shelves. We will see empty shelves this holiday season. And if you're ordering online, you're going to be prepared and do it early because it's going to be 4 to 6 weeks before you receive goods if you're ordering online. Yep. So, I share that just so it's the bigger picture of this is what's happening across all industries, retail and promo. And it's very, very real. So we do need to be talking about it now. Can we do a show without talking about this? I don't know that we can. It's just so every week it's something new is coming out with it.
Correct. Yeah.
So, correct. And we want everybody to be prepared. And you're the same way. I hate telling somebody, I'm sorry, we can't do that. Yep. And we just, you can't guarantee anything right now.
Even not in our industry, but like appliances or whatever raw goods or whatever you would use to kind of redo your house. Those things are back ordered for months. Yeah. Like it's happening everywhere. It's not just us, but we're just trying to educate you on why we keep pushing for you to not be a straggler. And then everyone being able to say, we can't help you. Yeah. One thing before I'm going to try to keep the show short. I'm really excited for Megan to show you the tour. She's put so much work into this show she's putting on next week, and I'm excited to see it. I wish I was in Arkansas so I could go in person. But, Megan and I have very different brand aesthetics. Like that's just because we're two different companies. And so I never really do super Christmassy stuff because my brand is very soft and kind of more feminine, I would say. Yeah. And so like for my holiday gifts,
fun art.
What?
And totally fun art. Your art
Oh,
is
thank
always
you.
so fun. Yeah.
Thank you. So for mine, I'm giving out these little planters, these little terracotta pots with champagne poppies because I love plants and so it reflects me. And then I'm just doing more of a simple message that's lasered engraved on the terracotta to kind of just, people, for me, I just feel always overwhelmed during the holidays and I don't really sit and appreciate all that I'm receiving because it's coming in. So I like to do just more of a general messaging, and I'll probably drop off these gifts to my clients in the next couple of weeks versus and you're giving yours out next week too, because I feel like when you wait till Christmas and you give out everything at Christmas, it just isn't as impactful. And then this little candle is one that I really like. And they smell great. They're inexpensive. They're kind of luxe looking. Who doesn't love a candle? This one I did in pumpkin spice, but it just shows you can have like the brand cohesiveness, whether you're doing what Megan showed, or if you're doing something that's more, as you see from my picture, that's just my brand. That's totally who I am.
And it looks very retail. It looks like it totally, I'm thinking Anthropologie. That's
one of my favorite stores.
There you go.
So, but I just wanted to show that, that's what we do. We understand, our job is to understand your brand. So even if Megan's brand is Southern branding and her color's red and my brand is Hoopla and it's mostly these feminine colors, you can give me, one of my biggest clients is a global tech company. Their color is blue. Like it's not my brand, but I know how to embody the brand and I know what's going to appeal to the demographic of the people receiving things from them. So that's our job. Trust us. Come to us early as much as you can because we want to, we want to be able to deliver for you. I will end this with a personal question. I just thought of it. So, what is your favorite gift you've ever gotten for Christmas in your life?
Oh gosh. I mean, I've gotten some pretty awesome gifts before. But I think the one that is the most special to me that will also is more like an heirloom kind of item. Mm-hmm. My mom had some earrings made for me one year, and it was from the diamonds from her wedding band with my dad. So it was just in a very, very, very simple, understated, but so much meaning with it, and will be an heirloom that I'll always treasure. So that's probably mine.
I love that. Do you have I have a part 2 question that you inspired me. What is on the top of your wish list for this Christmas, whether you buy it for yourself or not? Because I've been married for over a decade, and to be honest with you, I tend to buy myself what I want at this point, but
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I haven't even thought this year, and really, like, I would be great with an entire day in bed with a clean house and meals brought to me that I had nothing to do with. I think that sounds, and watching whatever I want to watch on TV, maybe some cuddle time with the family.
Like a minute or two.
Yeah. And then just a minute or two. and then, but can you imagine though, like a whole day
I couldn't.
In bed and meals being brought to you, like coffee being brought to breakfast, So
I would need my family to vacate from the home, and then I would need to hire a personal like helper for the day to come and help me, because if it involved my family doing it, it would become Mom, how do I make toast? I spilled something, like it would I could foresee it. So that's great. I will probably sound very superficial because one of my love languages is gifts. So I do like gifts. So I would say my favorite gift was the first Christmas I spent with my husband. I think I was 27 at the time. And I had always worked full time and gone to school full time and kind of scrimped and just lived paycheck to paycheck. Yeah. And I really was very frugal with my money, not so much anymore. That's the beauty of getting older though. And so I had been eyeing this snakeskin Michael Kors purse. and he saw me eyeing it and he never said anything. And Christmas morning, it was in a purse bag under the Christmas tree. And it was like my first really, really nice purse that I'd ever owned. And it was just like, I loved it. Like, and I still have it. And it's not even something that's my style really anymore, but I will never get rid of it because it reminds me of that first Christmas I spent with him and getting like something so nice. At the time.
But it's also the thoughtfulness that he noticed it.
Yeah.
And then just did it like that. That's also that's the big part.
Totally. Now I just send him an email with bullet point items and then I link it. And then sometimes I get nervous that he's not getting the best price because he has a tendency to wait till usually about 2 days before Christmas to go through the list. So he'll usually find something very similar to what I sent him, but it'll be a completely different color or shape because he waited so long. So then in the last couple of years, I've just started buying myself what I want because there's a reason why I'm linking it. I want that exact thing.
Yeah.
So this year, on the top of my list, which is something that I find really outrageous to buy, but at the same time, I've always wanted it. Like all my life of wanting something material, I've always, wanted one, is a Gucci tote bag.
Okay.
With the monogrammed Gucci and then the green and the red or whatever down the middle,
I can get behind a high-end bag. I can get behind that. Yeah.
I mean, you use it every day.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that I've always wanted, but I've always been like, that's too much money to spend on a bag. I still cringe because I looked him up the other night and I was like, should I go to Poshmark and buy one used? And I just thought to myself, you know what? I'm worth it. So, we'll see if that ends up under my Christmas tree, but it might be self-bought because I'm scared to tell my husband how much they cost.
My first really big sell, was that was when I bought my first Louis Vuitton bag. And it was my first very really big commission. And that was my treat. So sometimes you have to treat yourselves. Huh?
Do you still use the bag?
Oh yeah. I have it right now. Yes.
Oh, I love that. So maybe I'm not even going to buy it for Christmas. Maybe if I have a really great Christmas sale.
With that order that you were telling me comes through, you totally need to do something for yourself. You have to. That's part of it. We'll call that self-care, Christina.
Did you get the memo that I bought myself a new car 2 weeks ago?
Well,
well, anyways, that was fun. Now, I'm a materialistic little, hussy. So I might be getting the bag. We'll see. But next week we will have Megan give us a tour and I'm super excited. I'm going to have, when Megan and I post the video, we will link our holiday catalogs individually to our websites. So you can look through the holiday catalog in anticipation for our show next week, because Megan will have not only whatever, she will have the samples of everything in the catalog. So DM us if there's something specifically you want her to really show, because there's a lot, but she'll also just show us kind of in general the awesomeness that is Southern Branding's holiday open house
that everybody gets to participate in. Yay.
Yeah. So thank you. And we will see you next week.
Bye.